Welcome, everybody, to the October edition of the So-So Podcast. Congratulations. You made it another month. Another month in this crazy, absolute craze.
And I do want to say Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We are actually taking this on the 31st. So,
we're totally not in our costumes.
Happy Halloween. Yeah, we actually did a costume stream 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But we did not think of doing it for the podcast, which might have been cool if we did. But didn't really think about it.
Sorry, guys. But there is a VOD of us and a bunch of pictures that we did take. I
mean, this is still here.
Yeah, you still have that tattoo.
It won't come off. So I still have the tattoo.
Does it not come off? Or
it won't come off.
Do you actually like it? Do you actually want to...
No, it won't come off.
It won't come off? Is that...
It won't come off. I've tried scrubbing it with soap and water. It will not come off. So I hope...
I think you look good in it.
Thank you. I just don't like butterflies. You know that. So it's just a little... Like, I look at it and it actually kind of creeps me out a little bit. Because some of these have little legs on it and I try not to look at it.
You wish it wasn't there.
No.
And I don't have facial hair. I mean, it's starting to grow out a little bit, but it's weird. This is also for the costume.
Yeah.
I always tend to pick characters that don't have facial hair. So.
Yeah, you should definitely go.
I had a, what is it?
You had a mustache.
Bar, like a stick-on mustache, but no actual facial. Yeah. You should go what?
You should cosplay as someone with a beard. Well, with like a big beard.
I won't have that either.
No,
I would have to buy.
Get you a fake one.
Yeah, and then wouldn't have to stop. Probably would have to still shave it to stick it on, right?
No. It would be one that like hooks on your ear, like the Santa one. Oh. I just want to see you with like a big like mountain man like beard.
Okay,
I think it'd be fun.
It's a good way to start off thinking about next month's what we do for our Halloween. For people that don't know, we were Blink-182. I was Tom DeLonge, big fan of Blink-182. I'm really glad and happy that he's coming back to the band. And so I was Tom DeLonge from the First Date music video, also known as the What the Fuck gift guy. On Blue was also an album cover of Blink-182.
I have the gloves.
There's the gloves. She was a nurse.
I was the nurse.
It was crazy. She killed it. It was a very different Blue. She didn't really look like Blue.
Because I had a blonde wig and everything.
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, there's some pictures on their socials, also up on our Discord too. We also have the VOD of the Halloween Bish Bash Beluga Bamboozle. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. But
second half might be a little weird because we did do a watch party. Mm-hmm. So it's just Gray and I just reacting to Silent Hill. Because we watched it on Discord.
Yeah, that was fun. It's always fun. Yeah.
I want to watch more Halloween movies before it turns into November, but
then we have to watch all the Christmas movies.
I know. So it's almost Christmas.
It's already Christmas. There's already Christmas things out in the stores. There's already Tokyo's already Christmas. Actually, tonight's the last night. Right? Yeah. We're filming this on the 31st. So tonight, I think they're still gonna party, right?
Yeah, I bet there's gonna be people who goes to like Halloween parties tonight, and Shibuya's probably gonna be crowded again.
And then tomorrow, Santa Claus, Rudolph, everywhere. It's fucking Mariah. It's gonna be crazy.
Christmas.
Yeah. So
I mean, they already have Christmas stuff out anyway. At like the supermarket and stuff, you can get Christmas.
It's true. Yeah. The stockings and stuff like that.
Yeah, like stocking stuffers.
We never get stuff like that.
No, we don't.
I realize we don't really celebrate it. And
do you want to? Do you want to do stockings this year?
I'm just probably gonna get to it and then eat it, and I don't want to think about all like what would happen, like because
it doesn't have to be candy. Because
we do like Christmas lights, because we have the feast stream. If it's like for the stream stuff that people can see, it might be cool. But I don't know about like.
No, because like stockings doesn't have to be just candy. It could be like little knickknacks that you find when you're out and you're like, oh, Blue might like this, or Gray might like this, and you buy and you put in a little stocking. They're like little. They're supposed to be like little house. Mini presents. Doesn't have to be from the outside stores. It could be from Amazon.
Oh, like order online?
Yeah, they're supposed to be just like little presents.
It's just gonna be full of Amazon boxes. Like my stockings, just like.
It's just gonna be little mini bottles of alcohol.
Ooh. Maybe I'm a little bit more into this idea than I was before. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll update you what we did for at least at the November podcast. We would have to been decided. At least,
yeah,
because it's not even the next month. Let's think about that.
It takes a while to gather presents.
That's true. all the alcohol that you're gonna
And
get
like
me.
every year, we always get each other things that we already know that we're gonna get.
I mean, it's usually a tattoo.
It would be nice to do some kind of surprise present.
You want to do a surprise present?
That'd be kind of nice.
I'll consider it.
Okay. So that's a no. All right. So
We'll do something.
yeah, we'll see.
So this month we had a lot of stuff. But before we get into the main podcast, so this podcast is kind of like an overview. If this is your first time watching, kind of an overview. We've been doing it since the beginning of when we started streaming, and there was like a big hiatus in the middle that we didn't do it, but still, like from the beginning, the first month that we started streaming, we kind of just we just do a little overview of what streaming's like, because this world's crazy, man. The streaming space, the content creation space, ups and downs, man.
It's just an audio journal of our journey through streaming. There's a lot of like
real shit,
like behind the scenes talk. It's about things that Gray and I talk about off stream, I guess, like just on private time. Things that we go through mentally, emotionally.
All right, we're back. My webcam died, so we are back. And what were you saying, Blue? What about this podcast? Is something about emotions?
It's just like things that happens behind the scenes, which could be like negative stuff, positive stuff. It's what we're going through mentally, physically, emotionally, all that jazz. So
yeah, for the people that are listening to this audio podcast, sorry if you guys heard the same thing twice. My camera just died, so then we had to cut that part out. So, anyways, so speaking of emotion, I think one thing that we should do is start by reflecting on an emotional podcast episode that happened recently, which was the last episode.
Last episode we had a bit of it was a little on the downside, I suppose, because we just got back from our trip. We took a week-long break from streaming, and our numbers dropped. And so that got both of us in a pretty negative, I guess, mental space.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been a month now. We did a few, event streams, Werewolf and whatnot, and I think that really helped us bring it back to where it was. I mean, it's still a little, I guess, lower than where we were before our trip, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was at the time, but what I mean is we're not in that headspace anymore. Like, we realized, like, oh, wait, no, it's just everyone's still there. It's just we took a break. So they're probably doing their own thing, and then people are starting to come back again. So it wasn't that we became worse, or it wasn't that, people left or anything like that. It was just, you know what? People were probably doing their own thing too. And a lot of them came back. So not came back, but like they started to tune in again. So I think it was just probably just timing, and I think it's just like, when people take breaks, it's just slow to kind of go back, get into that groove again. So once we did start to get into that schedule, I feel like everyone's schedule kind of started matching up with ours too again.
Yeah, I think it just shows how, and I did mention it because I wanted to show like my train of thought in the last one as clear as I could, but it's like I just realized when you don't have a firm base on something else, when in content creation, and something like that happens, it's like we're really fragile. I realized how fragile you are about everything, and it was again, I think I talked about it there too, but it was like a learning experience for both of us, of learning a little bit about ourselves, about what it's like to be in this space, and I mean, I knew it was gonna go by. I was talking about how it would be a cycle and whatnot, but when you're actually in the eye of the storm, when you're, it's you. Well, the eye of the storm is the calmest part. So I guess this.
On your way there.
Yeah. So this doesn't make sense, but it kind of just seems like.
It's hard to see past it.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
There's so much shit. There's so much noise. And they're like voices in your head, or all these other like horror stories
voices
that you ambiguous in my head.
Sorry.
Ambiguous stories. That was ambiguous, just horror stories that you've heard of. They're never coming back, and like it's Twitter, you see some depressing stuff too. That's like really not related to you in any way, but then you start to relate to him. It's all that kind of stuff. So, being able to do events, and in the last one we did mention that, you know, hopefully doing these events will help, and it definitely did. It definitely did, and it just kind of put us up. I don't know, put us back on the road that we should be on, I think, and it's
because it helped us out mentally too, and like emotionally for us, because it kind of brought us back into the whole, I guess like not natural, but like our schedule before we left. Because I think taking a week off does kind of make things a little weird. Because you don't have that consistency anymore. And that kind of puts like a break in it. So I think when we came back, did Werewolf, saw a bunch of friends, it helped us bring us back to where we kind of were mentally.
Yeah. So I have a story with that, because you just mentioned we were hanging out with our friends. So after that happened, it really was like I realized that I had to do a lot of work, and I was just really overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, on stream and off stream. And it was something that was like creeping up on me, and I didn't realize that. And I was in an extremely fragile state, especially when we filmed that podcast. Yeah. That was probably the peak. So that was probably the best, and because you can get like some
pure raw emotion.
Or also worse, because, you know, like, it's either best or worse, because that was I realized, like, I was, like, pretty fucked when we filmed that. I can tell. And around that time we filmed that, we actually went out and got drinks with a friend. And we were drinking. It was me, Blue, and our friend. And then I started to say things that I normally would never say. Like, things that just, I guess, were in the back of my mind of, you know, we're working so hard, and I feel like it doesn't
pay off.
It doesn't pay off. And normally, I don't usually say that kind of stuff. That's not, because that's like a really dangerous mindset to be in. But when I was in that fragile state, I was talking to them, and they're a really good friend of ours. And I just kept, and I was like, you know, it just doesn't work, man. Like, it just, I don't know what it is. Like, it just, we put on all this work. I think we're doing something good, but for some reason, and it started becoming this like really just part of gray that I just didn't want them to. So I apologized later, and like, it's fine. But that conversation really helped me, and they told me some things that really kind of changed my perspective or bring it back to what it should have been, what it was before, my mentality before. So here's the thing: I haven't seen our numbers. I turned them all off this whole entire month because.
Yeah, I couldn't look at him either.
Because, well, not because that shouldn't matter. Like, it got me to a place where I was like, if we're doing good things, if we're doing things that we believe are good, then it shouldn't matter. And it was like that before we took that, a month before we took that podcast. And then so I just don't look at any of the numbers anymore. And it's in a better place. Like, I'm not scared. You know, like when you rate somebody, it shows you how many people are there, but and we get the reports and stuff, but it doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, it's a little lower, but like, it doesn't bother me at all, because I think what we're doing is good, and we have to just keep doing that and not expect something out of it, because, you know, at the end of the day, if like you fall into this trap, or I was falling into this trap that was like, we need more viewers. And then what does that mean? You get more money? Is that what it is? Because if it's more money, with my skill set of being able to speak English and Japanese so well, fluently, I could get a job at a pretty good paying company. I could do that. It's a possibility if I really gave it a shot. But I've turned down jobs to do this for a reason, because there's something that's a little bit more important to me than just money and stuff like that. And it kind of like, I had to just, and thanks to music too, that I kind of really got, you know, gathered myself again in this last month. And so I've been really enjoying this month and everything that we've been doing this month. Even though this month was even busier than last month with all the personal stuff. It would, if I was still in that mindset before, I would have been crushed. Like, it was really bad. And that one hangout with my friend, like I still think about it to this day and how important that was. And that was not the best side of me ever. And they're still our friend, but that I wasn't a good, like I wasn't like me, like I was probably like an asshole, but like not to them, but like
you
just
were being
like
insecure.
yeah, I was being very, very
Yeah.
insecure, and it's like it wasn't like I wasn't like fighting anybody or anything like that, but I think my insecurities were showing, very weak side of me, that, and it was only possible because they let me be kind of like that, and Blue didn't stop me either, because I think she was almost like surprised, like wow, that doesn't sound like Gray at all, and then it made me reflect on, where I should be, what I should, and it really helped.
I mean, I think at that point, even if I tried to diffuse the situation or told you to stop, I don't think you would have listened to me anyway.
Yeah.
Like you were.
Yeah, I just want to put it out. I didn't
like,
fight anybody.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
diffuse makes it sound like
saying-
I fought somebody.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not like that. It was just one
Or
of
like
those,
get in between. Sorry, it's probably what the best word
Yeah.
is. But like.
and it wasn't like
or,
arguing
mediate,
either.
I guess
Like
it was just like you were just being very insecure
yeah,
and saying things that were very depressing. I guess.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just really like out of character.
Really negative.
And a lot of things that I didn't think I thought about,
Yeah.
and I didn't in my conscious, but I guess it just like came out, and yeah, like it was ugly, but again, that makes it sound like I fought somebody, or like I talked shit on somebody, and then it's nothing like that. It's really nothing like that. It was just very emotional.
It was just very negative.
It's a very, very emotional, like, yeah, negative
thoughts,
cry
negative,
of like, oh, like, kind of thing.
It's like yeah.
That I normally don't have, and I wish I was in a better headspace. But that really helped me, as selfish as that may sound. That that really, really made me realize that I was in a bad headspace, and I still think about that. So I'm really, really thankful for that person. Also, very thankful for them to still be our friend. So yeah, that was a big, big change for me.
I think the whole like, oh, but with my skill set, I can get more money somewhere else. That's not. I actually kind of disagree, and that's
Thanks.
not the point. No, like the way you phrased it, I disagree with your phrasing.
Okay.
Because it's not about whether or not you can find a better paying job. Of course you can. It's the fact that you want to do this and still get the same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so money is still very important because it
is a
has to be.
balance.
Because in this world, money runs the world and all that shit. But I think I think a better phrasing for that is saying that we want to be able to make the same amount of money doing something we're passionate about, something we enjoy doing, rather than getting an office job. Because at the end of the day, we do want money. We want this to pay as much as those other jobs we can get. And that's the whole point. It's not whether or not, oh, well, I want, it's not because of the money, because I can get a better, of course you can. But the whole point is that we want to make as much as those jobs doing this.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think that's why it's difficult. It's because we just want this to work so bad that we're depending on things like numbers to show us progress. Because a lot of times I feel like, you don't see growth unless you it's hard to motivate yourself if you don't see progress or some kind of motivator. And the only thing on Twitch that you can see that you're growing is numbers, unfortunately, or money. It's either money or numbers. Those two are the only things where you can actually be like, hey, I am growing based on like some kind of physical thing. Of course, you can feel like you're growing depending on like maybe you meet more people or you can do more like, cool streams and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we are really dependent on physical things like the amount of viewers or money, because those two are very consistent. I guess they show consistency of like displaying growth, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there is a part of me that, can't disregard the amount of money that that we need to really as adults to kind of keep doing what we do. And it's not like, so if somebody said would you stream if you could get no money out of it? Like no one can sub to you, no one can like we physically wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So like I don't think
It's just not realistic.
it would be a pure hobby as in like something that you do purely on your free time and only free time.
Yeah, so it'd be like maybe 2 times a week or maybe even once a week or every 2 weeks. Like it's not something you can do consistently.
Or you don't need
that'd
to,
be very
right?
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just doesn't.
You don't really need a schedule.
Yeah. There's no there's that ambition starts to fade if you can't,
Because you'd be doing it completely just as a hobby because you're bored, or it's like, oh, I have time right now.
Yeah, there'll be just imp streams.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of imp streams.
Yeah. So I think like the idea of it, trying to make it pay of something, trying to get it to a point where you can, as much as those other jobs, is one thing, but I guess I meant it as in if you start thinking about it like that, I don't think we'll ever get there, is what I'm thinking. Like with some of these jobs, because the thing that's different is stability.
Of course.
And that's I think that's where my poor wording is trying to get at. I'm guessing I'm just trying to like mishmash in my head right now, but I think it's the state of stability of a salary and versus something it's not incentive, but it's
like paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, just seeing, and it has almost nothing to do with our daily routine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh my God, Blue did shit today or Gray did shit today, so
we're gonna get paid less. It's not like, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that. It's just it's.
So you can do the coolest stream ever, but you might get paid less that month.
Yeah, and then you just have to keep believing in yourself. Like it's really unstable, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. So in a state of that's so unstable, I have to stop thinking about comparing it with something that's completely different, which is a stable pay.
Right.
But it's what makes us drive. Why do you do it? When you ask that, it's because it's something creative. It's something fun. It's a really cool outlet for all this like frustration and like things I don't agree with in the world, like in society and stuff like that and all that kind of stuff. And I can just put it out in the stream in my own way or in Blluist. And I feel like it's, like Blluist is kind of like a fuck you to, for me. Now, I don't know about Blue, but like is like kind of like a fuck you to the system, even though I'm still part of the system, and I'm not.
Well, I mean, it kind of is for me because I'm not in the system.
Because I mean, yes, like Twitch is still part of the system. They're corporate, blah blah blah. Like
we're talking about
all that
like,
shit aside,
jobs.
just us being there, and expressing ourselves, having a platform to express ourselves and do whatever the fuck we want. Because as for now, they're not telling us like, you have to do this, you have to do that, or anything like that. So in that sense, it's free and we just get to do whatever we want. We think of it, we do it, and it's an expression, right? Yeah, we're under Twitch, we're under Amazon, blah, 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 all that. But I hope my point gets across that it's a place where we can express ourselves and get really like fast reactions, good, bad, or stuff like that. So it's, I like that. I really, really like that. And I think keeping that is very important. And my friend made me realize that with very simple words. So I was, big moment. So from last month, that was very different.
Yeah.
I know some people were really worried about it and stuff like that. So I just want to let you guys know we're in a better headspace.
Better place now, yeah.
Again, motivated, getting ready for the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Another event that we had very recently was Werewolf. We did Werewolf. Another successful episode of Werewolf. We had a little bit of a change at the very end there, but it still worked out. Had a great time. It was wild. It was another wild episode of Werewolf.
Especially since like this time it was a lot of people. We ended up inviting a lot of people we already like previously knew. So I think it felt a lot more like just playing with friends kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, gathering, like it was like almost like a sleepover, just partying with friends, like at a house partying. It's like, hey, let's play werewolf kind of thing. So I think it was a lot more low key than before. I mean, not on my end. My end was still the same as usual, but I meant like for like the player's end, it was, I think, a lot more maybe casual than for some people. Because a lot of people knew each other already. So
yeah, there's only a couple people that I didn't really know, I think, from that. But and they all obviously they were just really nice. So like they fit in very well, I think. Hopefully they had a good time too. So again, Werewolf 4. Yeah,
we have to start planning the next one soon.
Will definitely happen. Hopefully we'll try to aim for a November one, if not December. But we got to start planning that. Again,
we do get pretty busy at the end of December usually. So it might be better to do mid-November and then early December, but we'll see. We'll see what we can plan.
Yeah, it really just depends. We want to do something different each time because this is still like very like test stages of werewolf. So trying out how many people's best, how many, what the best roles are, how to do it. Maybe there were some suggestions that I should go into a different room next time and do it, which I might
get another PC. Was another suggestion.
I might go into a different room just to do, like, just because
the mic echo.
Hearing myself through Blluist must be fucking annoying, and yeah, we'll figure it out. But
we'll try different things.
It'll keep getting better, hopefully. Yeah. So we did that. October was another month of a lot of personal events. Blluist parents were here, so we were spending a lot of time with Blluist parents, which was a freaking blast.
So I did have to cancel a few streams during that time as well. And so thank you for...
And that was something that you were worried about.
I was, because it's like, we just got back from a trip and then I have to cancel streams again. Like I didn't want to, but at the same time, like I haven't seen my dad in 3 years.
Yeah, you cried when you saw him.
Oh my God, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did, yeah. So, like, and of course I haven't seen my mom. She came in March for a little bit, so I got to see her again, which was really nice. But yeah. It was very nice to see him, and I wasn't going to be like, oh, sorry, I can't make time for you guys, even though I haven't seen you in 3 years. So, I just thought, you know what? I think everyone on stream's nice enough, like, they're understanding enough that they'd probably get mad at me if I didn't take time off to go see my parents. So,
especially it was after we got engaged, so it was even more special. We went to go see your extended family, too. Yeah. So, it was nice that... And I think that decision of it must have been a lot easier for you to make these decisions because it was after all that. Like if you were still in the mindset of last month going in, it would have been a lot harder. But I think as the month went on, mentally you were like, it's fine, got to cancel it, it's fine. Do short streams here, blah, blah, blah. Like I think it helped that our mental stability in that sense was getting better and better. So you could justify the most obvious things that should be justified. Sometimes it clouds your mind, where it's like, oh, maybe I should cancel. I shouldn't, like, what's more important, right? Like family always comes first. So I think I'm glad that nothing clouded your mind in that sense.
Yeah.
I would have never told you to stream over seeing your family or anything like that.
Yeah, of course not. I don't think anyone would.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of personal events happening, and then we talked about the Halloween stream. Is there anything that happened with your costume? Mine was hella easy. I used the wig from last year. There's no handlebar beards, mustaches, so I had to buy one online. It's like a 16 pack. It was the cheapest one too, and it comes with like all different kinds of mustaches.
Yeah, it even comes with a curly Q mustache.
Yeah.
So I'll have to put it on him one time. Or I can put it on. I don't know.
Yeah, when we went to like a detective game or something like that. And then I got a wristband and then pants. So, and I already had the t-shirt that I was wearing was a super old Blluist shirt.
And then I just gave you like a spare ring for your lip ring. Yeah.
Pretty easy to be boomer, bro. So, how about you?
I mean, the most difficult part was probably getting a bottle of beer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That was probably
the most time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Blue? Yours a little bit more involved.
It wasn't too bad though. I mean, the dress. So my issue is, I realized that I think I'm bigger than I actually am.
Where? Like your body?
Like my body is bigger than I actually am. because I measured myself before getting the costume, and I go there, I look at the size chart, and I'm clearly an S size. But I'm like, I'm not gonna fit in an S size, so I got an M.
But what does that mean? You measured yourself, and then you went to the store, and
I was clearly an S size.
You were clearly an S size, but you bought an M size?
Because I thought my shoulders wouldn't fit. And like my ribs wouldn't fit.
What are you basing this I'm clearly S size off of?
Because the measurements were under S size. Like the numbers for my 3 sizes, like my waist
that you measured.
That I measured physically was fit under the S size range.
Then what made you buy the M size one?
Because I thought my shoulders wouldn't fit.
But you measured it, right?
No, it didn't have shoulder size. It only had boobs, waist, and hips.
Okay, and you have to specify because you just said you measured yourself, and then you found one that was under your measurements, and then for some reason you bought the M size. Like
it only had 3 sizes, which was bust, waist, and hips. And since I have pretty wide shoulders, but I've had issues before in the past where I would get something fitted and my shoulders wouldn't fit because I have wide shoulders. So I was like, my shoulders are not gonna fit in an S size. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So I got an M size. I tried on and was like, I should have gotten an S. It was really big.
Yeah. This one.
So I had to actually end up stitching it up like last minute. So I was like stitching up buttons and all that stuff. So I think that was it. And then I had to what was it? I had to write the cross on the hat. Yeah. But other than that, it was pretty easy.
You were writing that. You were drawing that while playing Overwatch.
I was.
Is what I remember.
Yeah, because I'm obsessed with that game.
Because I was like, shouldn't we be getting ready? And then you're just like, wait, hold on.
Two games, please.
That perfectly drawn cross. I'm like, this person can actually multitask.
I can.
And it's
I can do
unbelievable.
multiple things at the same time.
So that was it. And then anything problem with the makeup was like, to me, I told you, like, I've never seen you like this.
I mean, I look like a girl from like
1998, I believe that was when the music.
I look like I was from the 2000s, yeah, because that's what was popular when I was in like middle school and high school. That's all like the preppy girls would wear makeup. Not preppy, sorry. Like the edgy girls would wear makeup like that, like outline their whole eyes with like bunch of eyeliner. My dad used to call them panda eyeliner, like panda eyes, because they had so much eyeliner on.
And then they had the red lipstick was really what got to me. I was like, whoa, that was the big change.
That's like, okay, this is like really, really specific, but that red lipstick sucked. Because usually with lipstick is really good lipstick. It's made so when you apply it, it'll dry and it doesn't rub off that much. Like, of course, it'll come off a little bit. But if you touch it a little bit, it's not going to, like, your whole finger isn't going to be red. But that one is, I bought, like, the cheapest one I could find.
Yeah, you were like, you have to find the cheapest one.
It gets on everything.
Yeah, and I was like, make sure you don't get it on your teeth, because that's like a pet peeve for me.
It was all over my teeth.
I was like, that's a pet peeve. When people get lipstick on their teeth, I think it's super unattractive.
Well, yeah, of course. I think everyone thinks that. But, yeah, it just kept getting on everything. So that lipstick is a no-no, by the way. You
wouldn't recommend that?
No, I would not. Just get good red lipstick if you're gonna get red lipstick. Like decent one, okay? Don't get that one, the costly one.
We're like, it's like a D sponsorship. Like, we're just like, don't get it. Don't get this.
Don't get it.
Speaking of sponsorship, there was something that we did for the first time we've experienced was we've done charity streams before, and we've done the Square Enix sponsored stream, which is not really sponsored.
You just get a key.
Yeah.
But this one we actually did get a sponsorship for, and that was for a Turbo Kid.
And we got like merch after that too. It was super
we got
cool.
like cute little pins.
Yeah, that was fun.
And stickers. So.
Super smooth for us. It made us feel important because the person that actually asked us to do it was actually someone that hangs out in the chat. And reached out to us and like, would you guys be interested? And we're like, hell yeah. And we did it. And it was a lot of fun. It's really easy to do stuff like that when the game itself is fun. So we don't have to like act like...
We don't have to act like we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you guys know I'm not a big fan of like platformers. I'm not a big fan of pixel games. But I actually enjoyed Turbo Kid.
Yeah, Turbo Kid was fun.
Which is
they're
like rare. Because I was actually genuinely worried. I was like, oh no, what if I don't like it and I have to act like I like it? But no, I actually genuinely enjoyed it. So
they were like, usually people finish this game, the main game, because it's just a demo, like an extended demo in the first stream.
Like a few hours.
And then the second stream, you can either even opt out of the second stream, but if you want to do a second stream, you can do like a challenge run. And we're like, okay, I will do like split control. Yeah, for us, it took us 2 streams to finish it. So
yeah,
it was very Blluist of us that we couldn't finish it on our first go. And we were just
good at games.
We were so lost
we
first day.
Lost.
We totally forgot about the top layer, and like there was like a huge ramp that
goes up
that you couldn't go in the beginning, and I totally forgot about that. And then I think we seriously like 100%ed the map on the bottom.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
and then we're like
everything.
And then we went up, and we're like, oh my! We're like, let's just go from the top, and then let's see if we missed anything. And then of course
you see the ramp, and it's like, oh no, it's this.
And it's like 5 hours into the stream. Like,
yep.
Damn, like the second part. Here we go. So I had a blast. They were really nice to us. Definitely would love to work with them again. So
yeah, for sure.
It was a cool experience, you know. It doesn't, for the people that are watching, it just might seem like a normal stream, but to us, it's like, it's really cool that people would even
want
us to really us like. It's a very humbling moment that people would want, and it was special. So I thought I would mention that. So thank you so much for that opportunity, and of course for you guys that were there to watch that. Thank you so much. So we did the Halloween stream. We talked about it a little bit. It was cool watching everybody's pictures, little baby pictures, or
costume pictures,
walking around, nice park pictures, cursed spider pictures. You know, all kinds of stuff. But so we did that. We didn't go out to Halloween this year. We just did it all inside. We watched Silent Hill. I like that. I like that we have this little tradition that we have going on over here every year. That we just hang out. Maybe we'll do an IRL stream someday. That we tried one like 2 years ago, and it just, oh my god, it was just
get connection because there were just so many people around.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard, I think, to stream during that time.
So if we do that, we might have to go with somebody that has a better rig, and then maybe we won't stream, but we'll just be there or something like that. Because it does seem fun, a little fucking wild, but it's an experience, definitely, and I think a lot of people would want to check it out. So another thing that we were on that we did this month that was put out recently is that we were guests on the Half and Half podcast.
Yeah.
The H&H podcast. I thought it was the Hunter x Hunter podcast. I was about to get a whiteboard out and explain what was going on. But this is a podcast run by Shizuka Anderson and Max Capo. Good friends of mine from college, actually, and they're both content creators. And their producer was Kai. That Koji Mochi, I believe, is his TikTok name, and also on Instagram. They're all content creators. That is our first time meeting them, but
they're actually all mixed.
Yeah, except
that's the whole point of the podcast.
Is that they're all they talk a lot of their podcast. We were on volume 3, but 1 and 2 have been really about what it's like to live in Japan as a mixed person.
Yeah.
And then but I was just like, well, I'm kind of mixed. Well, blood-wise, I'm not, but
you're still a third culture.
I'm a third culture kid. So they're like, we're gonna talk about third culture kids. We're gonna talk about Halloween and about Blluist. And we're like, let's go. We get there. We talk way too much about other stuff
Blluist,
that like.
And then,
I mean, thankfully they asked a ton of questions about us, and of course we weren't gonna say no to any of the questions.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm glad we are people that they even have questions about. That's really nice, but I don't think we really talked about third culture kids. So we got to do another one about. We have to do another episode.
We'll have to
of
be
that.
there on there again.
Yeah, if they would have us again.
Want us there, yeah.
Maybe like, oh no, they derail us too much. So maybe not. But it's really cool to be featured. We've been on other people's things, but like I think Aki's video with the tattoos was the closest thing. Like I've been on other people's channel, but it wasn't like the spotlight was never it was never an interview of us. And like even with Aki's, it wasn't an interview of Blluist, but it was more of like people with tattoos, friends with tattoos, and we were part of the segment, which is awesome. Like we'd love to do it again and everything, and like Squid Game too. Like it was fucking rad. Like I would do that in a heartbeat again, but this time it was like featuring Blluist. Like we're the thumbnail. Like it's like we're not. It's crazy that people think that we're interesting or people want. I was like.
You sure?
Like us, you good? Like, I'm pretty sure you can get other people, but if we're okay, he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so we did that. It's like an hour long. You can go check it out. It's on our Discord. Also, if you could just go check out the Half X Half podcast, you should be able to find that. It was an amazing experience. Were you nervous at all?
No, not really. Not really.
It's not like this.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Yeah, but we were with friends, so it wasn't too nerve-wracking. It wasn't like I was meeting like a bunch of strangers for the first time or anything. So it just felt like we were just talking to them.
It made me nervous because they were my friends, if that makes sense. Because they were my friends that I've known, and I've had she's got on other things. Like she was on Feels Cozy.
Yeah.
She was in sports. And she's been in content with us, but I've never been in a situation where they were the hosts and then I go there and obviously it's like, boom, they're content creator time. And you can tell that the switch goes on and then it made me nervous. Like, I'm just like this. Can I deliver? I don't know. Like it not in a bad way, but it made me feel like, oh, this is like the other side of them. It was very obvious when their personalities are the same, but there's a different like spark and like the different way even the way they project each word is obviously very different as soon as the camera goes on. So, which is probably the same with us too, but
yeah, I think so too.
I think it was cool. I would love to do that again. I had a great time.
I think another thing I wanted to talk about, it's not about Half and Half podcast or anything we talked about already, but it's like a little behind the scenes for me personally is that I realized that recently I've been having a rough time with my social battery. Okay. If that makes sense. Like maybe not rough's not the best word for it. I don't want to come off negative or anything because it's not supposed to be like, oh, I'm having bad, like it's not like that. It's just more like, I think like since we started streaming, I've been trying to balance or trying to figure out what's a good mix of being, busy, seeing friends, streaming and all that. And of course, like, since before stream and then after stream, the times I've had to vocalize as in talk on a day-to-day has been like, it went from like maybe like 5% to like 150, like all of a sudden. And I'm still trying to figure it out and trying to balance it. But I noticed that the more I fill up the week with things where I have to talk a lot, whether it be even meeting friends or even meeting my parents. Like, of course, like when my parents were here and we were meeting somebody or talking on stream or something every single day to the point where I was getting like my brain was getting like fried.
Yeah, this month is crazy. There's some stuff that we can't even talk about yet.
Yeah, we can't talk about yet.
And other offline Discord calls and stuff like that. So yeah, there was a lot of social interaction. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, we just had so much social interaction that I was getting like, there was a time at night when like Gray already went to bed and I was having like a minor panic attack. Or maybe not panic, but like anxiety attack. Like I was getting like super, super like anxious. I had to like open the window and I'm staring outside like, holy fuck, what am I gonna do? Like, and I was just getting so overwhelmed with how much I had to interact with people. And I was getting like, not really burnout because like the things that I was experiencing wasn't bad things. It's not something I didn't want to do. Like streaming, I enjoy streaming. Seeing my parents, I enjoy seeing my parents. Like, I enjoy hanging out with friends. I enjoy talking to Gray. Like, none of them is bad or anything. It's not something I don't want to do. But it was getting to a point where every single day we had so much social interaction that I had no time to recharge this social battery. I don't even know what you want to call it, but
yeah.
So it's just like, I didn't really know. I still don't really know what to do in that situation. I guess I just need a day where I just don't talk. Maybe, I don't know. But sometimes I can't even have that because we do, we're busy. We plan things. Like, there's things we want to do. So it's not like I can just take one day off where I don't talk to anyone and I shut myself in my room. Like, that doesn't really work. That's not rational. That's not logical either. So I don't really know how to balance that out. But I just wanted to say it I just wanted to say it today. So hopefully I can update later on when I can actually, like, after I've tried out some things. But that's just one thing I had trouble with this month, is I was getting really, really anxious and almost panicky at one point because I felt like I was like this towel that was just getting wrung super dry, and I was just running on fumes for like several days.
Yeah. I think and you were obviously very careful with the way you mentioned it, because these are things that you would want to do, and you would, like, I'm not forcing myself to do anything. It's just that those interactions are interactions, and when you fill all of your schedule with something that involves other people almost every single day, you get to a point where you're just like, whoa, wait, where am I right now? Like, what are we doing? Like, it and it's, I like that
that's something
feeling. So
I think that recharges you.
Or
almost,
it does.
Like, hanging out with friends, like, it's like your de-stressor. That's what recharges your, like, motivational battery.
And if someone, like, reaches out and they're like, yo, we should do this, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And that's like, I'm game. I'm okay, just give me like 10 minutes, and then I'm like ready to go. But I think for someone like Blue, it really was a lot. So I'm very proud that you did power through that, and hopefully we can figure out a better way to balance it out, because I think unfortunately we're not going to get less busy. So what we need to do is and I think that's what we hope for, right? Like, we hope for that we keep getting busy and try to cut off the things that maybe we can, like, basically things that we don't need to do. Maybe it can, not because we don't want to do them or something, they're not important, but like maybe something that can push back or something like that. I think balancing that out is going to be important, because if we had the same amount of things that we did this month and
every single month,
but we scheduled it out and spaced it out for, then like, weekends, it wouldn't be bad. Right. So, like,
if I can just have one day a week where I don't have any obligation, I guess, not obligation, but if I don't have any plans to, like, interact with somebody, then I could recharge. But even then, like, that's not doable sometimes.
We're gonna have to give you, like,
need to figure out some kind of way to recharge.
We're gonna give you I'm gonna give you a 1 week retreat with just Anu, and then I'll leave the house for a week.
No, but the thing is, that doesn't do anything either.
And then I'll do remote streaming.
No, like, a week break isn't gonna do it. It's not that. It has to be, not like
a year.
No. It can't be big. It can't be big breaks. Like, I don't need a week break, because as soon as it gets busy in the next week, I'm gonna crash the next week. Like, It has to be, like, right in the middle of the week. So once a week is enough. Like, if I have, like, 3 is not gonna do anything, because as soon as it gets busy again, I crash. So it has to be, like, a consistent, like, I don't know, every 4 days, every 5 days, like every 7th day, I need, like, every 7th day, I need a day of rest. I don't know. I don't know what, like, the best solution is, like I said, because it's not like I can just hole up in a room for a day and not do anything. Like, that doesn't really help either. So I'm honestly not sure what would be the best option. Because, like I said, I do like doing those things, and I do like planning those things. Like, if I have a day off, sometimes I do want to see friends, even though maybe I kind of need that as a day off. But day off as in, like, what I mean by day off is me being antisocial. Maybe I do need an antisocial day, but sometimes, you know what? Like, that's a day where I don't have anything else, so I'm gonna plan a day with friends. even though I might need an antisocial day, but I end up planning stuff anyway because I do want to see him. And then I was like, oh, it's fine. Future Blue could deal with it. And then of course I crash later. So
yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard. I think I totally understand that it's just this big wave of social interaction that you've never experienced in your life.
Yeah.
And it's just been.
I tried
crazy.
my best not to be like this, if that makes sense. Like I tried to like not see it. I don't see it as bad or anything like that. I meant like I didn't see it as like, oh, I'm someone that needs a day off. I didn't approach it like that because I knew if I mentally thought like, oh, I'm someone that needs a day of by myself, then of course I'm gonna need that because I'm already mentally thinking that, right? So I tried not to think about it that way. I just thought like, you know what, I'm enjoying all this. Let's do this today. Let's do this today. And I was totally down for scheduling something every single day. But when I had that like weird nighttime like freak out, it made me realize like, no, it's just I'm kind of over capacity my brain or myself at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I think rest is important. I just don't know how to rest, so we just have to communicate on how we want to do that.
Yeah.
And because if there's a day off, I start thinking about like, what can we do?
Yeah.
And that's just how my mind is, and it's just the way we just have, in that sense, we're polar opposites.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it work in most cases. I think is that it works that way. But I think, no. If it is affecting you mentally, that's something that we definitely, because I didn't know about that. So I think we need to, we can figure out a way to reschedule things that work for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
We have to just watch out.
I would have said if it was something we could reschedule. It was just like, it happened like when we were at like the peak of busyness, and it wasn't something we could just reschedule or anything like that. So that's why I just kind of like thought like, oh, I'll bring it up next time kind of thing. It's not something we have to deal with now.
Yeah.
I'll eventually talk to him about it, but it's not, I didn't want to like bring it up and be like, oh, I'm going through this right now. And then you would have to worry because we're still like packed, like our schedule's still packed for the next 2 weeks. Like I didn't want you to go through that either. So I just thought, you know what? I'll be okay for this month. Let's I can tackle that for next time.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it, but if it is to a point where you can't go forward, there's no point because Blluist is both of us. So
of course,
you know.
I mean, if I thought like I was really gonna like crash and burn to the point where I just stopped functioning, like mentally just checked out, then I would have brought it up.
All right.
But sorry, that was like a really, off topic tangent.
No.
That's something I wanted to talk about.
That's very, very important that you this month was fucking insane. So
yeah.
It definitely was. So let's go to the sub questions. Thank you guys so much for the questions again this month. I haven't seen the questions this month, so let's see, what do you guys have in store?
Okay, so first question is from Fujiang.
All right.
It says, if you found a djinn in a lamp, what would your third wishes be? Genie, sorry.
Third wishes? You read that so wrong.
What would your 3 wishes be? I can't talk. If you found a genie in a lamp, what would your 3 wishes be?
Oh man, this is the age-old question, but I never really thought about this before. But mine would probably be like, give me 2 more. No, I'm kidding.
My first wish would be that I wish Anya could live as long as us and be healthy for the rest of his life.
I think that's, when you're a kid, you just think of the most ridiculous things. And then when you get to when you get to your 30s, you get really realistic. Like, I hope I don't break my leg today or something like that. Like I hope everything is just okay. Everything is okay. I hope 3 wishes. I hope, it's a good question. It gets harder the older you get, I believe.
Well, my third wish would be that I wish Cyberpunk was real. I would want Cyberpunk to be real. Like happening right now.
The game?
Like like that happens to this world. So I could be cyber decked out.
Shit is grim in the cyberpunk world.
It's fine. Because Anu is going to live as long as I do and be healthy.
I would say... Yeah, I think number one is that no one in the family here gets any serious diseases.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it's like a really real answer, but like doesn't get any
real.
sicknesses along the way as long as we are together. And after that, if you break up with me, I hope you. Anyways,
Die a horrible blah, blah, blah. I can't talk either. It's fine.
I'm kidding, but I hope we can get to a place in streaming where we can do this full time. That's all I ask for. I don't want too much or anything like that, but I do want to get to a place. That's always been our goal. Mm-hmm. That we get to a place where we can just say, hey, we both make content for a living. And
I know what your third wish is.
That I want a beer right now. I'm kidding. What is it?
I was going to say, you want Digimon to be real.
Yeah, that would be rad. That's a good one. That would be cool. If you get Cyberpunk, I get Digimon. Would you
want your own Gabumon?
Patamon maybe?
Patamon, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, never mind.
I would, yeah, definitely. Those are my 3 wishes. Thank you for that question, Fuchan. All right, 9 asks, if you were to pick one character from one anime/manga/video game to reverse isekai, who would it be and why? Reverse isekai, so they come to our world? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
So I would pick... It's a good question. Maybe... Is it going to have to be the most stereotypical answer? Mm-hmm. Is Gray about to say the most stereotypical answer?
What, Digimon? Again?
No, I think it might have to be... And don't get me wrong, I'm still a, Digimon.
Yeah.
Might have to be Pikachu.
Oh.
Because he's so cute. Like, I just grew up with, like, how much character he is. He's super smart. Dude's actually...
That's true.
Dude's actually, like, 5D chess all the time.
Yeah.
Way smarter than Ash. Ash is a dumbass.
Very true.
So... I feel like it would be Pikachu. Because nobody in Digimon... The Digimons that are... and the fact that we can communicate through him just saying Pika-P versus them actually just speaking to me, there's something about that. So this might be the most stereotypical question, and he's not my favorite Pokemon, but I think it might be Pikachu. Might be.
I'm trying to think what mine would be. Can't really... I don't know. I'm not sure who mine would be.
I don't think I thought that one out enough. There's going to be a better answer.
Yeah, there's definitely a better answer somewhere, but I can't even think of one right now. So let me get back to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Let me think about that. Let me think. There might be a better one, but the first thing that came to my head was Pikachu with a ketchup. I just want to give Pikachu a ketchup bottle. That's like that would be. I want to see what he does.
Okay, next one is from Fuchan again.
Thank
Not
you.
exactly a question, I suppose. I know it can be a sensitive topic for many. I'd love to hear more about Blue's thoughts and rants on fashion, especially in regards to your experiences with androgyny or the clash between traditional norms versus where she sees culture heading over the current and next generation. That's a hard question. I mean, clash between traditional norms and where she sees cool. I think, like, one is I wish more Japanese people wore traditional clothing. Like, that's kind of dying out, unfortunately. I don't really see it much unless it's, like, for, like, a festival. I don't even see young people wearing kimono to, like, a wedding, even. It's more popular to wear, like, Western-style dresses. So traditional clothing is definitely kind of dying out, and that makes me really sad. That's kind of why I want to eventually throw out all my modern clothes and just wear kimonos for the rest of my life. That's what my aunt's doing, and I want to follow her, following her footsteps kind of thing. I mean, in regards to androgyny, I do wish that people would be able to wear whatever they want without getting judged. But unfortunately, with how society works and how how we grew up and everything, I think it can be a little difficult to swallow, especially like guys in skirts or guys in dresses. Even though I think guy in a long skirt, like I think that's pretty easy to pull off. I think it's it's something I've seen some people wear it, and I think that should definitely come back in style.
It's weird that it's not yet, because you do mention that a lot of people here are wearing skirts and like just longer, frillier clothes, and you look at it, and there's gotta be people that are getting inspired by kimono, right? Like that's like, I feel like it's not mainstream, but I feel like it is happening where they're taking references from kimono and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I could totally see that happening.
It just isn't. I just don't see many people wearing it. That's all.
It's either like super high fashion stuff or like it's twisted to the point where you can't really tell the reference anymore. Yeah. So.
And I think with just with androgyny, I think I've gotten to a point where I'm confident enough to shop in the men's section without it being an issue. But I think it's more difficult for someone who's masculine to buy feminine clothes. I think you get a lot more judged for that than someone feminine getting masculine clothes. Like, I think that's hopefully something that'll change in the future. Because like I said, I think if a guy wants to wear a skirt, why not let them? Because they're really nice, they're really comfy, they're really breezy, really nice in the summer.
Yep, I can second that. My maid costume, that was very comfortable.
Yeah. So and of course, like unfortunately, with how our bodies are made, though, you can't. There is a reason why women's clothes are called women's clothes. It is because it is made differently. Like women's clothes are made to accommodate the swell of breasts. It is made to accommodate the swell of hips and stuff because usually, I guess female body types tend to have their bones are built differently than male body types. So that's just how we draft patterns, and that's just how it's made to fit different types of bodies better. So I think that's why there's a split between women's and men's clothing. But at the end of the day, if you're someone who's not like traditional masculine, feminine, and you want to try both, I think you should be able to. Because just because there's darts right here to accommodate for swell of like boobs, doesn't mean you can't pull it off. Because of course, there's plenty of women out there who have a smaller chest and they can still wear those. So it doesn't really mean, it shouldn't be like this like law that means, oh, I'm a dude, so I have to buy dude clothes. It should just be unisex. And just, of course, like how it's made is just in terms of what type of body type it is made for, I guess.
Because some body types, like my body type, actually fits because I wear like a lot of like skinny jeans and all that stuff. It fits more. I find girls' clothes or women's clothes in the section, design wise too. I'm like, the button's just on the other side. Like that's about it. Like, because I don't know too much about the clothes. Like I'm sure if you go into details, Blue will be like, well, this part's a little spacey because of that or whatever. But I don't give a fuck. It's a nice flannel kind of thing, Yeah. And so I would get women's clothes. Like, it's never bothered me. I've always that might help because I've been buying ladies' jeans since I was like 18. When I was getting really, I was like, this isn't skinny enough. and I wanted, I would buy girls' jeans. So it's. I mean,
Gray wears women's button-ups sometimes because a lot of women's button-ups tend to have shorter arms, or in like a skinnier body, and it fits him better. Just like how I buy men's pants because they tend to be longer. Or like I know there's a lot of women out there recently that buys men's pants because they actually have pockets.
Oh yeah, girls' jeans. Yeah, those pockets are jokes.
Yeah, they're not pockets.
They're tiny. They're tiny. They're
So
tiny.
I think it is starting to get better. As in, like, I think people are starting to branch out more.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a good
it's
question.
just more like, yeah. But so, like, when I go shopping and I see women's section and men's section, all I'm thinking in my head is, oh, because I know how they're made, right? So I'm just thinking, oh, this one is going to have darts here, here, and here. And then this section is going to fit like this. Like, and then it's like, okay, I want this kind of fit. I'm going to go to this section. Okay, I want this kind of fit. I'm going to go to this section. It's not, oh, I've got tits. I'm going to go to this section. It's not that at all. So it just kind of depends on what kind of clothes I want that day.
It's interesting.
So I think as someone who knows how to make clothes or how to draft clothes, I see it in a different, I guess, it's helped me see it in a different light than just gender.
And she helps me with that too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't ever feel embarrassed to go into any section anymore to like look for stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah, because it's like, who cares if that random person is giving you dirty looks? Like, it's like, you can pull it off better than they can anyway, so
There you
whatever, right?
go. And half the time they won't even notice.
Yeah. Most people don't care.
Yeah. At least in Japan. At
Yeah.
least in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I know a lot of places it's a little different, but
Yeah.
good question though. So thank you so much. Toasty asking, in your old apartment, you invited people for live Q&As and talk like PDR, sound, or major. Will you do this stuff again? I personally loved it. So that was when we were doing Feels Cozy, where we would get somebody and interview them. And we did a good amount of episodes, actually, of that. Made some good friends through that. Werewolf is kind of the reincarnation of that. Yeah, the content itself is very different, but for us, like, to plan something with a bunch of people, do like a common game together and learn together, and of course it's it's not like one spotlight on one person, but it would be cool to do it. It's just hard to find somebody consistently and plan it consistently.
Yeah.
To our house, probably no, because a lot of the people are like overseas, and with this setup,
The new apartment doesn't let us have a bunch of people in this room. It's too small of a room, so I don't think we can do what we did in the previous apartment.
yeah, we really like. I forgot what we did. We like brought the soundboard out, and then we
Yeah.
put our thing on the TV.
But it
our
helped
camera on
because, like, the
it was,
other
like, it was
place-
crazy.
Our setup was in the living room.
Yeah,
This place isn't.
we have
so
to like physically plug stuff out, and then all that,
move the PC over there.
and probably just change the structure of our whole living room and stuff like that.
So it just wouldn't work.
So if we did something like that, we would probably go to like a studio or something and do that.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love interviewing people. I love asking people questions and stuff like that. I would love to do that. It's just right now the event, I guess, that we're focused on is Werewolf, and we're gonna see where that
goes.
yeah, because it's a crazy learning experience, and
Yeah.
hopefully once we get, this is kind of like down the road, but once we get Werewolf kind of like going, we'll do 2 events that goes. We haven't thought of the second event or anything, but we'll have 2 events going. Just want to do more of those kind of things. Yeah, and then maybe 3. And then we just slowly kind of shift towards event-based streams. Like Blluist does all these like weird, events type of stuff while doing normal streams. It's kind of the direction I think we're going to be going, and so it might not be Feels Cozy, but I hope we can get something like that where we get really personal with somebody in the future. Yeah. I'm really thanks for remembering those things that we did.
It's been a bit. So.
Blluist is a lot of like testing and like trying out all kinds of
Different
stuff.
types of
Yeah,
stuff.
so appreciate it. All right, next question.
Kia, any game you've seen as a kid but never got to play?
That shit. There was one game. Well, I guess never mind. I got to play it, but a little bit because it was in the section. Like they had like a demo section, but they had this Donkey Kong Congo game where you can actually like have a Congo.
Oh.
Yeah, and that game was fun. Anything with a special controller at that time was
Yeah.
cool, but I never really got to
I always wanted to play Taiko no Tatsujin, the one for home.
Oh, with the little taiko?
With the little taiko, yeah. But you can play it at the arcade now. But I wanted the one for home. I wanted to try it out.
It's always the ones with the special controllers.
Yeah, it's always the special controller.
Time Crisis with the gun. I had there was like a shoot. I got the shooting. I got the gun, right? For I think so the PS2, I believe. And then I was able to play like this vampire game.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was, but it was there's a vampire shooting game. There was Time Crisis 2. And I just loved playing. I just loved playing those games. It's just all the things that you can play at arcades with a special controller. And the gun was the only one I had. So I didn't have like, oh, dude, like the fucking at-home Drum Mania.
Yeah.
Like the
that
drum version of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
You can get like this setup. Of course, I had the DDR mat when I was a kid.
DDR mat everyone had, but that was probably the extent of special controller.
Yeah, the drum kit in your house, that was like, oh, you're fucking cool. None of my friends had that one.
Yeah.
But that was pretty freaking. That's something I used to play at the arcade, but I would love to do it at home.
And next one is Fuchang. How are the fish doing? They're doing great. We're actually going to be switching out their water today.
Right after this. So.
Yeah. And next one, Fire, no. Next one, Chance. Damn it, Fire, just buy bait like everyone else. If you could be on any challenge, show, game show, quiz show, which one would you want to be on the most?
Oh, dude, I want to be on the one where you can't laugh. And then whoever is the one... I want to be on a comedian over here called Downtown has his Amazon series where they're stuck in a room for 6 hours and they can bring in anything that they want, they can use anything that they want, but they just can't laugh. And there've been carbon copies of this idea everywhere. But this guy was like the first guy to do it, and he just gets a bunch of comedians in there, and it's online, so they do a ton of shit that they can't do on TV. It gets intense because
I've seen some clips.
The thing is that they all have to bring in $10K, but they're asking rich comedians, poor comedians.
You're asking everyone.
So people have to like borrow money to bring. 10K is a lot. They have to bring all that. And then whoever is the last one to stay, is the last one standing, takes all the money.
Yeah.
Or if there's more than one person left, I think nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. So it has to be one person left. I would love to do that. I would lose immediately, but it must be such a fucking weird atmosphere in there where everyone's trying to make people laugh, but they can't laugh. So then they're just... And then they start losing their minds. Like people just like start like taking off their clothes. Like they're just like, dicks are funny, and then they just like everything is censored, and it's just like it goes insane. And I want to be part of that because I don't think I could ever experience a room that's that intense. And it has to do with laughter and like everyone's face is like this. And there's like a dude just taking his clothes off, swinging his dick around, and he like drew something on his penis or something like that, and he's just like that would be, I would want to. That would be fucking intense. How about you?
I don't really know too many game shows, so I honestly don't really know. Plus, I would get so nervous. I don't think I would say no if I got invited
to a quiz show.
Yeah, no, and that's too nerve-wracking for someone like me. And I honestly don't know any, aside from that one. And then, like, the one with the obstacle course.
Oh,
I think those are the only ones I know.
Sasuke?
Or only two. And, of course, like, my hips would break if I do that one. And then the laughing one, I guess maybe. I probably wouldn't think a lot of it's funny anyway. But who knows?
Yeah, it's really obscure stuff.
Yeah, it's like I've seen clips of it, and I don't think it's funny. So maybe
you would be really good.
Maybe I'd be really good at it. So maybe I should just be on that one too.
Yeah, you should. I've seen a lot of people they came up with Silent Library, which was also copied or the same thing they did it on MTV years later, where they can't. That one's really like
you can't talk or anything, right? Make
but
noise.
they
do,
it's
though.
almost like just like a premise, and they just do ridiculous stuff and try not to laugh, even though there's no like punishment or anything. So, but of the things that he's been doing, the one where you have to stay in a room and you can't laugh until the very end is it's a genius idea. The fact that these people have so much on the line is
That's
also
true.
because they're borrowing money. Like there's like
the entry fee is really expensive.
yeah.
So.
And they're like borrowing money from their friends and their senpais and their kohais too, to just try and win this. So they're like so serious about it. So it's I like that. Like of course they have to have that kind of, they can't just take it lightly, and I like that. Next question.
It's from Vaughn. Do
Vaughn.
you like your house?
Love it.
Yes, we love this place. Would you move if given the opportunity? No, I like this place.
Okay, so Blue likes this place a little bit more than I do.
I don't want to move ever.
The only problem that we have with this place is that there's no AC in this room. Yes,
That's
Gray,
true.
we
Yeah.
can put an AC in there, but it costs a shit ton of money. And they told us like, you would rather not. And I was like, okay, but
I just want to. Let's just stay here, but move to a bigger room.
okay, okay. So the area is really nice. So
Yeah. Would you want to live outside of Tokyo or stay? I mean, honestly, like in the future, I would love to move to like.
I want to move outside of Tokyo.
Outside of Tokyo if possible.
It's just my physical work. That's like the only thing that my stupid day job that I have to go to. It requires me to go to Central Tokyo, and that's really the only reason why.
I would love to get out of Tokyo. Any preference on what type of house or apartment you like? Not really. I don't really have too much of a preference.
Anywhere that I can make a loud noise and no one cares.
That, yeah. Or just a big enough place that we can have like a separate streaming room. But something bigger than this where we can have some like own individual space, because I feel like I'm always in Gray's space and him in mine.
Yeah.
Like we're like tripping over each other sometimes.
It's better than having it in the living room though.
True.
Light years better than our old place where you walk into the
Yeah.
house and the first thing you see are like lights.
Yeah.
Lights or you open the door and the first thing that you see is our setup.
Yeah.
Side by side. So it just doesn't feel like you come home.
Yeah. Next one. Salty. Favorite curse word and why?
Fuck. I
Mine
love
too.
the word fuck.
It's so just interchangeable. You can replace anything.
It starts off with that boost, like not the boost, but like the acceleration of the and then which is fantastic, and it ends with a k. It's the perfect curse word.
I mean, you
fuck.
can use it for anything. It replaces anything.
Not shit. Shit does.
No.
Like that
fuck
shit's
does.
crazy. You don't say, "Oh, that fuck is weird." Well, I'll be like, "You fuck." Like it just it sounds fun.
Because it can be angry or it could be
aggressive.
like a surprise too.
Yeah, I just like how aggressive it can sound and how like comical it can sound at the same time.
Yeah.
I think fuck is a beautiful word.
It's a beautiful word.
Yeah. Fuck, man. If you were more than for it but had not, would it not
Well, you
then
should not have read that one. Yeah. Okay.
the
That
answer
message is a
answer
crime,
is 5.
Yes. If you died and woke up again in your coffin before being buried, how would you handle the situation? I don't know. Am I a vampire?
Died and woke up. Oh shit, man. Me being claustrophobic, I would probably start screaming. So
I mean, wait. This is before you're not buried yet, right? So I would keep knocking. Because someone's going to have to pick me up to bury me later anyway, right? So someone will open the door.
I have to take the Kill Bill strat. Go.
Oh, isn't it this? This is your fingers.
Wasn't she just like punching like this, like slowly? Like
No, it's
over?
like it's supposed to be like this, and then you punch from here, right?
Oh, it was like this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the only thing, dude. When the dirt, oh man, but
Yeah.
but if she was buried in that scenario, but maybe I would make what's the type of sound that would come out? Would it be high noises or would they be like
fuck?
or would they be low noises?
I don't know.
Like oh and like
I don't
shake
think
it
so.
or like and then,
Probably screaming.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably just scream on the
Yeah.
top of my head. And they're like, "Oh my god, we killed a cat."
Mango merch when and
Hard on merch when.
Hi Panko.
I don't know about that one,
I don't
boss.
know about I don't
I don't
know about
know.
that. We haven't really thought about mango merch.
We thought about it a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see how long Mango lasts,
Yeah.
and then we'll see if it
That's
becomes like a long live, like a thing that just
If it's there
people
for a
really
while,
like
then
it, and then
we can make something.
yeah,
All right, next one is fire.
yep,
Would you take $1 million to reduce your life by half?
okay.
Or would you kill one innocent person to save the lives of 10 innocent people?
These are two
Or
separate questions, right?
Sorry. First one is, would you take $1 million to reduce your life by half?
No, I
No.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. Do you know what? I would probably go through that $1 million so quick, in like the stupidest way.
You wouldn't have the rest of your life to enjoy it.
So you're saying that you want to enjoy the $1 million?
No, if I have $1 million, I'm saving it up and using it for something like for the rest of my life. Like I'm not just gonna like just use it on something and go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna live a comfortable life until I'm retired and I'm dying and my hips are broken. Okay.
I mean, it's already like now. I mean, if you halved it going at your hip rate, you're probably gonna die tomorrow.
Exactly. So if I'm gonna get $1 million, I want the rest of my life to enjoy it. Would you kill one innocent person to save the lives of 10 innocent people?
Will you kill one innocent person to save the lives? Oh, this
I'm
is.
guessing this is like a stranger, right? It's not someone you care about.
It's that bus. It's like that bus one.
Yeah. Because if it was one person I know versus 10 person I don't know, I would not be able to. Actually, no. If it was one person I don't know versus 10 people I don't know, I don't think I could either. Unless it's like, is it an indirect thing? Is it like a situation where one person is hanging on a rope and there's like 10 people hanging on the other side and I have to cut the rope and they just die to their death? Then maybe, yeah. But if you're telling me to go stab someone with a knife, then no, I can't do it.
I have the best answer. I'm gonna take the $1 million, half my life, cash it out, give it to you, and then I say, babe, I want you to have the best life, and then I'll be that one person that dies.
No, I'd probably
Selflessly.
sacrifice the 10.
Selfless Gray. Best answer. Husband points. Thank you.
That didn't answer the question, but okay.
Thank you for the question, Fire. Azza asks, question for Blue, what are your inspirations behind the punk design?
Honestly, I was looking through t-shirts that I own and yeah. I kind of found one that was like had like a cool school design. So I was like, "Oh, that'd be cool if we can recreate it for ours." I thought, "Hey, we have a cool dog. What can I
Hey,
do with
nice.
that?" So yeah.
The coincidence.
So it's a very, very simple. Yeah, there wasn't really much there's no deep lore behind it or anything.
Yeah, and the merch that we based it off of is actually based off another band's merch called The Exploited. So
So it's basically like I based it off merch that was based off of another merch. So it's like copy almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Except the original design isn't a dog.
Yep. You can actually watch her process of it all
It's on Patreon.
on Patreon if you're interested. She's like actually drawing it, like from like, and she gets like a little picture of like a skull and Anu and all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Thank you, Azal.
Would you consider making a bandana if we
This
could?
one's from Mai.
Yeah, from Mai.
Would you consider making a bandana as a merch? I would if I could. I would just wear my I would just wear a headband that we made every day if I could, but they don't have it. So if we could, we would.
Fujian asks, what is your favorite flavor of chips? And if you had to make a brand new flavor, what would it be?
My favorite sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion is probably my favorite. Salt and vinegar, just anything sour. I would make it sriracha vinegar. Vinegar sriracha would be my just spicy and sour and spicy. Anything that's sour and spicy is what would be.
This might sound really gnarly, but I want one that's like either maple syrup or like cinnamon and sugar. Like, because I like salt, like spicy and sweet usually works together well, right? So what if you have like salted chips with maple syrup on it or something? So it's like, sweet and salty.
That could work.
It might not work.
That could work.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of, because like there's these chips you can get here, which is salted chips covered in chocolate. And those are so good. And I just wish they had a big bag of that.
That could work. That could work. I could see that.
Something like that. Yeah. Like a sweet and salty kind of thing.
Uses asks, your idol in fashion or lifestyle? A figure you look up to. Figure I look up to? Well, there's a band called there's a Japanese band that was in, I would call them a 90s band, even though they were kind of formed in the soup like 89 or something like that. So called Eastern Youth. And the singer of that band is somebody that I look up to. He's first of all, their songs are something that, are really, really just something that I got really attached to. But his lifestyle of just like over the years, like he's, his band became big and, he can play these huge shows and all this stuff, but he's still grounded in his own thing. And they've always done their own events, like starting from when they first started, and they just kept doing their own events. They would just like invite other people. At one point, they invited like Jimmy Eat World, and during the 90s, like actual, like when they were doing like emo music, like the Clarity era of Jimmy Eat World, before Futures, and it was just them and Eastern Youth, which is such a weird combination, but it makes sense because Eastern Youth is like a very emotional band, and I think they're good friends. But his lifestyle of just, and that comes throughout his lyrics, he doesn't use any hard words. He doesn't use like, it's just super straightforward, really just punk rock kind of like lyrics. And he's like 53 now, and he's still pumping out records with his band. There's a couple of member changes, and his solo project is just him. His name is Yoshino, but like he has a project called Bedside Yoshino, and it's just him just taking some tracks with his guitar in his room, and those are like his best songs. Just always, he always talks about how like life isn't awesome. Like life isn't, it's kind of like the Blue Hearts thing where it's like life isn't awesome. Life isn't pretty. It's not just like everything is happy. It's not like that, man. It's a shithole. But
life sucks.
Yeah, but we have to fight. Life, it doesn't suck, but it's grim. Life is grim, but we deserve to live here, and we have to fight back to the everyday. And it's not like political, but it's just like every day. We have to fight every day, and let's survive this together. And just
very real.
Yeah, I definitely look up to him in that regard. I listen to his music when I feel down. I feel like when I'm like last month when I was just like, oh man, like it was just like I would listen to that and like their music a lot. And I think I put up on the Instagram a couple times that I was listening to them. But yeah, that singer, that band is someone that I look up to.
So that's something this is a topic that Gray and I talk about a lot, actually. It's the fact that I don't have an idol.
Excuse me.
I don't look up to anyone. like ever.
Because everybody's lower than you.
Yeah. Like I'm so much better than everyone that like no, I just don't. I never had an idol. Like when it came to like I don't know, their fashion choices, like their style or anything, I don't have an idol. Like I like certain designers for the clothes that they make, but I don't idolize the person. Like I think Yoji's like designs are amazing and his sense of style is amazing. Like in terms of like what he makes and what he sends on the runway and whatnot, but I don't idolize him for his lifestyle or his fashion choices or how he does things or anything like that. I don't really base what I wear on anyone either. I guess I don't really compare. I don't have anyone that's like, oh, I want to be like that person. And I never had that. And I don't really know why. I don't really have a clear answer on that, on why. But I just don't, yeah. Because I'm me. So why would I look up to somebody else? Because I'm living a completely different life than them?
So you separate yourself
from...
Yeah,
like, why would I compare myself to other people?
How about people that are in the same space as you? Like, when you were doing fashion or even streaming? Like, was there anybody that... Oh, I aspire to be someone like that, or I aspire to...
I mean, like, when I was in fashion, I was like, you know, I hope I can... Or I want, you know, I think, like, R13's an amazing brand.
Yeah,
I would love to design something like them, but I'm not R13. I'm not Yoji. So I know my journey, I guess, through the fashion world or whatever wasn't going to be exactly like theirs. I wasn't going to be, you know, my brand, if I was trying to make a brand, it wasn't going to be exactly like theirs. So I thought it was a waste of time idolizing someone else when I knew I wasn't going to turn out like them.
So you think, like, that's interesting because, like, to you, being in looking up to somebody means to become the next version of that.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, getting inspired and applying maybe what they did to your own art.
Yeah.
So, like...
To me, idolizing means you want to be that person. Like, the next Yoji.
Gotcha.
Next whatever. The next, you know, Eastern Youth guy. Like, that's not... No, I don't want to be the next whatever because I'm me. I want to be a completely separate entity. I don't want to associate myself with, I guess, idolizing someone else when I know I'm not going to be like them. Like, no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be like them. My journey isn't going to be the same. So even if I think like, oh, that's really cool what they did, even if I apply something similar, it's not going to turn out how it turned out for them.
Right, but that's where you... For example, if somebody started singing the same Bob Dylan songs in 2022, they won't be the next Bob Dylan. Right? Because it's irrelevant to now.
Yeah.
So the next Bob Dylan is somebody that speaks to the generation that they're speaking to.
Right.
And the music style, the way that they tell them, the lyrical flow, everything, right? Has to go with it, right? So it's applying, and I'm not saying that who blah 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 is the next Bob Dylan, but I'm just saying, like, we have a very different way of interpreting that, because I never thought of it as like I want to be like, if I look up to that guy, I don't want to write the same songs, or I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what it is. Like, I don't want to do that, but it's like applying his mental spirit and applying what he has in my own style. Like, a lot of application is like, it's applying what he does and kind of taking a step back and then taking the big picture and then kind of applying it to streaming, because streaming and music is, I think it's pretty similar.
I think it's similar,
but it also it's very, you know, just physically different, but and there's a lot of similarities, but to you it's like,
to me, I mean, like, even if
it's like to be them.
Even if it's applying, it's like, well, why would I follow one person's way of thinking?
Okay.
when I'm someone completely different.
It's interesting.
So like, yeah, that's why like I think it's cool that you have someone that you can pinpoint and say like, oh yeah, I really like this guy's view on things. Because to me, I just don't. That's just one person's view on things.
I think
it's not
you just have
it's not something complete. Like it's I don't know.
I think you're just very confident in yourself, and you just know what you want already.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
And that's something I don't have.
I don't know. I just don't. I've never really idolized anyone. So sorry, I can't answer that question. Is my point.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have anyone that I look up to, really. Like in terms of like, of course, like I look up to people around me. In terms of like, I think like Gray makes me a better person. So I look up to him for the parts I'm missing in myself.
Like the day-to-day stuff, right?
Like day-to-day stuff, yeah. But I'm not like, there's no one that I think like, oh, this is someone I really look up to. You know, I think their worldview is something I want to adapt. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Like I don't know about it, like lifestyle, like that dude's lifestyle and whatnot. It's just I'm just
his
gonna.
music speaks to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the events that he does and just how he expresses himself.
Yeah.
So it's obviously just through that, but definitely definitely affects who I am to the day and on a day to day. And I think for you, it's like, of course, same with you. Like there's so many things that I respect about you that because I don't have them and stuff like that. But I felt the question's probably more like a bigger thing, and you don't have that. Like it's
I don't.
That's interesting. Two very different people is what I'm realizing.
Yeah.
So Fuchan asks, if you end up with a stranger's phone for 24 hours, what would you do with it to mess up their life as much as possible?
I wouldn't mess up their life.
If you could.
I wouldn't want to. Why would I?
Even as a little prank, and you get nothing comes back.
No, because if I ended up with a stranger phone, I would just go take it to the police office. And
I mean, I would too, but like in the context of this question, I'm guessing the implication is that you can do whatever you want, and
and I would just take it to the police. Because honestly, like, okay, this is my train of thought, right? Because if I mess up their life, they're somehow gonna find, like, this day and age with technology, they can pinpoint where that phone is. They're gonna find it in my hands, and it's gonna be so mindokusai. I'm gonna have to deal with so much drama of this guy finding out that I have this phone, and then them finding out that I fucked with their phone settings, or did shit to their phone, or contacted people in their contact list, or put up some pictures on Instagram or something, and I have to deal with all this mess of this person angry at me. My info getting leaked to all the people saying like, oh, this bitch messed with my cell phone, or they have my cell phone. Like, I don't know who this person's, like, I don't know who this phone belongs to. That's so much shit I have to deal with. Like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'm either going to throw it away or give it to the police.
I'm going to quietly just go to twitch.tv/Blluist and sub.
I mean, that works too.
Sub and then just wipe. So... Yeah. That's what I would do. And I think I would be too scared to do anything, honestly.
Yeah. It's just so much, like, you're going to have to deal with so much shit.
It's true.
In the end.
It's true.
I don't have time for that. Just
put a little Anu sticker on it, and then just...
Yeah, because, like, I don't have time, like... Sure, I guess you can, like, PayPal yourself money, but then you know who you, like, your identity gets, you know.
And if you sub to us, you'll obviously know it's us, right?
You contact, like, you could, I guess, reach out to, like, random people on their phone and mess with people, but it's, like, that takes time and effort. I don't have that kind of time or effort to give a fuck about some stranger's phone.
She doesn't even look up to people, man.
Yeah, you think I have time to fuck with someone's phone? She doesn't give time
to Gandhi, okay? She has no time for Gandhi. She has no time for, like, these big people that you can look up to. You think she's going to give a time about some douchebag that lost their phone?
Yeah.
And throw it in the river.
Honestly, I'm probably not going to even pick it up.
Take a picture of it and leave and then send it to me.
Like, look, I found a phone on the floor, and then I just leave. But that's just so much stress. I had to deal with someone else's phone. Like, I don't want that kind of responsibility.
That is stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much for the questions. Amazing. A lot of questions this month. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will see you guys on the November edition of
we'll see you next month.
the So podcast. Thank you guys so much. Take care.
Thank you guys.
Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for listening.